This is the last episode for our 3-part Vietnam Coffee Farm Tour series. We are saving the best for last because trust me, this farm is bringing in the hype. Today, we will be visiting Zanya Farm, based in Dalat, Vietnam. This is a farm that has quite an interesting history with an incredibly passionate husband and wife team who owns and manages the farm. Marian is one of the owners of this farm, and he's a Slovak who married into a Vietnamese farming family who happens to be part of this area's local indigenous community. Before we get into why I am so impressed with this farm, let's first talk about the farm's history and background. So, for the longest time, this farm was owned, or is still owned, by Marian's wife's family. Back then, they were only dealing with commodity-level Arabica coffee, simply due to a lack of knowledge. So, for the last 100 plus years, Marian's wife's family was only selling the coffee cherries that they were growing to local buyers of commercial-grade Arabica. They were not paying any kind of attention to the quality that they were producing. So, when Marian came into the picture, he took a look at the farm and its operations, ran some numbers, and found that even with this incredibly simple business model, his wife's coffee farm was not making any profit. They were in fact losing money. Marian found this arrangement unacceptable and decided to research more about specialty coffee. This story is familiar to us coffee people, so we know how this rabbit hole goes. He and his wife decided to learn everything they can about the craft, from brewing to roasting, back to farming and growing specialty grade Arabica. And this is really where my excitement and enthusiasm for this farm stems from. The people behind this farm genuinely love and appreciate specialty coffee. They wish to create coffees that they themselves enjoy drinking, and then they want to share these coffees with the world. From the brief time I spent with Marian, I could tell that he is a true coffee nerd. We talked for hours and hours about coffee, about his farm, about how he and his wife operate and manage the farm in minute detail. We were so into this conversation that everyone else who was with us was bored to death, while we just kept on talking and talking about coffee. Here are some of my favorite insights from this farm. Marian is a coffee guy. He grows, roasts, and brews his own coffee. Coming from the Philippines as a green bean coffee buyer, I've got to tell you the sad truth that not many farmers ever get to taste, let alone roast, their very own coffee. This sadly means that they are not well informed regarding their own produce, and thus they have a limited capability to check and see how they can improve over time. So this is not the case for Marian, because Marian has his very own coffee roaster inside his production facility. He regularly roasts and brews his own coffee and truly understands why his coffee tastes the way it does. This, alongside his genuine passion and enthusiasm for improving over time, means that for sure, his coffees will only keep getting better and better. Zanya Farm works with mixed varietals. They have Catimor, Bourbon that are blended together for their various lots of coffees. These are the trees that their family has been growing for generations. So this is their standard production. But, very excitingly, in addition to these varietals, they have also planted and are in the process of harvesting brand new F1 generation hybrids that was a product of a privately run research facility here in Vietnam. These F1 generation hybrids have been optimized to perform well in Dalat's microclimate and soil composition in order to have a high cup score as well as a high yield. This F1 generation hybrid is called THA1 and is a cross between Ethiopian landrace and Catimor. The idea with these new F1 generation hybrids is to combine the cup quality of Ethiopian landrace together with the hardiness and productiveness of the Catimor varietal. And in my conversation with Marian, it's so clear to me that he is so excited about this particular varietal and is keen on doing crazy stuff with it in order to create unique and beautiful flavor profiles. During our meeting, Marian and I cupped coffees that he roasted alongside some of the Indonesian Hasbula coffees that I also sourced and roasted. The coffee that Marian served to me include a Kenyan-style double wash process, black honey process, natural process, and an anaerobic natural process coffee. Each coffee on the table was good. I would say that they were scoring around 83 to 85 points. And interestingly, each coffee can serve a different purpose, meaning some of them will perform really well for filter and some will perform really well for espresso. In addition to these 4 processes, Marian is also working on doing some other cool stuff such as lactic honey, anaerobic honey, and aerobic natural. This is to say that this single farm is already producing 4 flavors and have many more in the works. Finally, I was incredibly impressed with the amount of investment in equipment that Marian and his family are making for quality coffee production. They have so many cool toys, such as a greenhouse for drying, color sorters for sorting unripe versus ripe cherry, density sorters, screen size sorters, multiple different kinds of fermentation tanks, with stainless steel tanks on the way for the next harvest year. Marian did say that he is in the process of optimizing his workflow and usage cases for the various equipments that he has, but I am confident that he will figure out a good setup eventually and will make even better quality coffees in the next harvest seasons to come. This concludes our Vietnam farm tours. I truly am so impressed with the amount of energy, passion, and dedication that the Vietnamese farmers have for their craft. As a huge coffee enthusiast myself, I feel so grateful that I had the chance to connect and work with individuals from diverse backgrounds, and I'm so incredibly inspired that I am in the position to work with them and share their stories to the Philippine coffee community. I'm very much looking forward to sourcing more coffees from these farms and sharing them all with you. Please subscribe for more videos and turn on the notification bell to stay up to date on all our uploads. Thank you for watching. See you again soon.